Hi, my name is Daniela, and I'm a part of this year's scientific research class, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what we've been up to the past couple of weeks. A lot of what we've been doing is reading scientific primary literature around the coronavirus and learning a little bit more about virus biology so that we can understand more about COVID-19 and how it's affecting our world. So this has been a really interesting process, and I've really enjoyed a lot of what I've read. It's actually helped me a lot and benefited me because it has given me a lot of closure, and reading the science and understanding the science has been helpful for me to understand why it is that we need to be taking the measures that we are. So a lot of what I've been interested in is looking at how the virus actually spreads to people, and looking at the SI and the R naught, which are terms that I won't go into right now. But I think that looking at symptomatic carriers versus asymptomatic carriers of the virus is really interesting and important, because although you may not have any symptoms, it is still possible that you are carrying the virus and can be infecting other people. This virus has a longer SI, which means that there's a longer period of time between when you're infected and when you begin to show symptoms. So that's very interesting because it gives us a little bit of insight into why it is that we need to be social distancing and kind of limiting our exposure to other people. So another thing that I think is really important to be looking at is how what we've learned about how the virus spreads is affecting our most vulnerable communities. And one thing that's been in the news recently, and that there's a lot of research coming out about, is looking at how poor communities and communities of color have been especially impacted by the coronavirus. This is something that I'm extremely passionate about, and I think that sometimes people confuse science not being able to be something that's connected to social justice, which completely isn't true. And science actually explains a lot of why these communities are being hit so hard. So because many of these workers are essential workers in poor communities and communities of color, meaning they work in grocery stores and other jobs that are essential to keeping our society moving, basically. Because they work in these jobs, community spread is a lot more dangerous because they don't have the privilege to social distance in the way that I do. So what that means is that because there's a longer time between when you are infected and when you start showing symptoms, people can continue to work and continue to infect others during that time. And because of area segregation, a lot of these communities of color and poor communities are kind of condensed into one area, meaning that infection and community spread is a lot more potent for them than it would be for me, for example. And that's really important to understand because it is kind of exposing injustice that has already been occurring in this country and that has just never been brought to the light in such a way. So I think that the science is definitely helping me to understand why that's problematic, and hopefully we continue to look at this issue after we have come out of the coronavirus. So another thing that we've been thinking about is why it's important for people to understand the science as we navigate this complex situation. And what I would say is it's important for people to understand the science is because the science is what's saving people's lives. We need to be social distancing because if you are not social distancing, you can infect someone very easily. And because of the R naught, the virus can spread to a lot of people from just one person. So that is kind of a difficult concept to grasp. It was for me, but it's there. The science says it, and we need to be listening because when we weren't listening, that's kind of how we got into this mess. So we are really excited about all the work we're doing, and even though we had to cut off our projects, which was really sad for all of us, I still absolutely love this class. There's only 8 of us, so we're all really well connected, and we have amazing conversations in our synchronous learning class time, and we're looking for different ways that we can bring what we're learning to the community. There may be TikToks involved, so watch out for that. But that's kind of all I have to say. I've absolutely loved being in this class and being with this group of people and teacher Mariska, and I think that it has really helped me as we've transitioned to distance learning to kind of get closure and come to terms with the situation that we're currently in. So, thank you.